what's the worst thing that happens when you go to a counselor and you think you might have something, and the counselor goes, you sound pretty normal. You're okay. Let's just kind of address this and move on. Oh, I thought there was something really wrong with me, right? And that's those adjustment disorders. Like, I think something. Nah, it's actually some normal stuff. Here's some things we can talk about and help. So it's just go get some help.
This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast, where we hope to restore and reclaim godly marriages through honest and real conversations.
Welcome to episode 122, and we have friend of the Celebrate MarriageCast, Tony Boer, back. He is a licensed marriage and family therapist, a professional counselor, and a wealth of wisdom. Welcome back to our show, Tony.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, Tony, welcome back. First off, just a quick question. Have you got your World Cup tickets yet?
I actually do have some World Cup tickets.
Nice.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Bought them a long time ago. So the earlier you buy them, the cheaper they are.
Okay.
So you have no idea who you're getting or what teams. And they had the draw and did that also. I am going to watch Japan versus a team yet to be determined.
Okay.
So it's a couple other countries, Sweden, Ukraine, and two other ones. So we'll see, but it'll still be a fun event.
Okay.
We should have went in on tickets together. Yes. Hindsight. I also realized that they take volunteers. I saw somebody post on LinkedIn that they went to the Kansas City volunteer auditions.
Nice.
Whoa.
And I have regrets that I didn't know about
that's
that.
Even
but
smarter.
it's all
I
good.
think it'd be more fun to volunteer and be behind the scenes.
They get swag and shirts and Now we know.
That
now
would have been the way
know.
to go, because I looked at ticket prices and they are not.
They are. And I taken my kids and I was kind of half joking. I'm like, hey, the prices are going up. I could sell them and we'll just make some money. Like, Dad, no. I'm like, yeah, I probably won't.
That'd be so fun.
It'll be fun. I'll keep you updated.
Nice.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
We'll live it through you, Tony.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Tony, well, welcome back to the show. We are super excited to dive in, I think, to a topic that really it doesn't get discussed a lot. And we're going to dive into mental health. Mm-hmm. The idea of mental health in marriage. So it's really excited about today. And I think it's going to be a great conversation for our listeners to kind of jump into this topic.
Yeah, and in looking at statistics, the World Health Organization came out in September of last year and said that there are now more than 1 billion people living with a mental health disorder. So it's something that we need to talk about. And there's a high probability somebody in your household has some kind of a thing that on a daily basis that they're dealing with, or someone in your friend group. So this is a big, important issue to talk about.
Yeah. And lots of people, when they hear the word mental health, run and hide, or like, oh no, this is going to be bad or terrible. So first, I actually printed off the official definition of what mental health is, so we can kind of think about what we're talking about, which is mental health refers to our emotional, psychological, and social well-being, and it influences how we think, feel, handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. So when you hear that, it's like, okay, that's not so bad or terrible. But a lot of time when you hear mental health, you think of, oh, that person had a breakdown or something's going terrible or bad. And so the first thing that I wanted to talk about today when we talk about mental health all the way through it is whenever you hear mental health, I want you to think the same as physical health.
I like
right?
that.
We take care of our physical health all the time, right? So if someone says, hey, what are you doing? Oh, I'm exercising, I'm eating right, I'm trying to do this. We don't look at them like, oh, what's wrong with them? Right? So what are you doing for your mental health? Oh, I'm walking. I'm going to go talk to a counselor. I'm taking some time to journal. All of a sudden that doesn't quite feel the same, but it should, right? And so mental health, physical health, whenever you hear mental health, just think of it as like, oh, we're just taking care of our moods and our brains and how we're feeling and what's going on.
I love that idea of putting it in the similar category of I do have physical health goals, but I should also have mental health goals to take care of myself in that way. So yeah, what does that look like on a daily basis for me? I love that.
Yeah, and if you think about it, it's like, imagine if you walked up and said, oh, I don't do anything for my physical health. We're all kind of like, hey, maybe you should, like maybe you should go for a walk, eat healthy. So what do you do with your mental health? Oh, I'm fine. I don't even address it. That's actually not the right answer. It's like, well, we should be addressing that just like our physical health.
Yeah, I love that all-encompassing definition. As you look at like your social well-being, influence how we think, feel, handle stress, relate to others, make choices. That's everybody.
Yes,
that is
not
like
terrible.
Literally an all-encompassing definition. I absolutely love that.
Yeah. And I feel like mental health issues definitely get a lot of stigmas or labels, and a lot of times those are not true. So let's talk about, just to kind of kick this off too, which ones are not true, and why do we hear those, or why do we falsely think that?
So one of the things like mental health is like, oh, if you go to therapy, there's something wrong. That's not always true, right? It's kind of like with that physical health. Oh,
right.
If you're going for a run, does that mean something's wrong or terrible with you?
No. Or if you go to the gym, there's nothing wrong with you. That's actually a really great thing.
It's like, so I'm going to therapy. Oh, what's wrong with you? I'm going for a run. What's wrong? Nothing. And so I think people need to remember is, yes, people go to the doctor when they're sick. You also go to the doctor when you're healthy and get a physical and stuff. It's the same thing with therapy. There are people that come to therapy that are hurting and need help and want to grow and learn. And there's also people that just want to keep healthier, that maintenance, keep themselves on the right track doing those things. And so one of the stigmas is if you hear somebody's going to therapy, don't automatically assume that that's terrible and bad. It could be for a lot of good, healthy reasons.
That's great.
Yeah. Another, go ahead, James.
No, I mean, I think a lot of, and I think this is, I mean, old thinking. And I think part of like, I think, you know, for a while, like I thought the same thing. And I don't know if this is just a generation, like certain words get attached to mental health. And I think that's sort of a part of the stigma. And again, like, you know, words like crazy, words like psycho or something like that get attached to this. And I think that's such a stigma that's hard maybe for people to overcome.
Yeah, so those words, psycho and crazy and losing it and all these kind of words is like, they're not the nicest words, but they don't even describe what's really happening, right? So it's like very few people actually have a psychotic breakdown where they're out of touch with reality, right? But people will get called psycho all the time. Oh, you're psycho or you're crazy. And it's like, man, be careful in how you use those words to do that. Even sometimes you'll hear that with lots of therapeutic terms like, oh, he's a narcissist. Okay, do you know exactly what that means? Or are you just saying that guy's just, I don't like him, right? Or gaslighting. There's a lot of terms that always float around. It's like, whoa, do you know what that means? Or are we just kind of saying that stuff because we're mad, we're hurt, or we're scared? And so just be careful with those terms.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think to remember that your mental health is on this spectrum, is that sometimes it's really good and sometimes it's not so good. And that's true of all of us. It's kind of like, if we go back to that physical health thing, is, are you going to tell me, Tony, I'm never going to be sick? No, we're all going to have a day where we are sick and we're throwing up and we have the flu, right? We don't go about life thinking, I'm never going to get the flu. We're going to get sick once in a while. Right. Same thing with mental health. There are going to be days where we are down and we're sad, or we have some anxiety, or we have some depression. And that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, or you're psycho, or you're crazy. It simply means that's where you're at today. And we're not all going to be perfectly healthy physically all the time, and we're not always going to be perfectly healthy from a mental health standpoint all the time.
Yeah, because the reality is life happens. You can't control that. I was just sharing with you guys that, you know, first week of work and I have a cracked windshield and 2 parking tickets, which are not my fault. They're getting reversed. There was a miscommunication with the parking ramp situation, but they're outside factors, or maybe someone that you love passes away, or whatever that is, or an unforeseen injury or ailment that are going to add to that kind of load that you're carrying, that they're going to push you. And that's life.
That is life. And you're going to have good mental health days and bad mental health days.
So Tony, as you know, as we look at this, and as we look at, you know, one of the things that we look at is if someone's been like diagnosed, or maybe talk through like symptoms or signs that maybe someone might need to see a professional or something. Like, how do you see that? And then what do you do?
Yeah. So the first thing when we talk about like diagnosed or labels is we have to be really careful of what that looks like and naming people. And the diagnosis and the labels often sound really bad, but they're not, right? But they're in a lot of like medical terms or kind of that standard. So, for the mental health ones, they're almost all labeled disorder, right? This disorder, bipolar disorder, this disorder. some of them aren't that bad, and some of them are like we talked about, that normal stuff. All of us have had an adjustment disorder, right? And that's probably the number one thing besides anxiety and depression that I see in my office.
Talk about that.
Now, an adjustment disorder is kind of what it sounds like. Oh, you're just having trouble adjusting. So if you move, if you have a new job, and you get some parking tickets, right? It's like, oh, this is a little stressful.
I told you I will be gone for 12 hours a day. I left my house at 7:30. I'll get home at 8:30. There's just
we would say things like, oh, I'm still adjusting to things. I'm trying to find my new routine, right? We all kind of have an adjustment disorder over the holidays when we joke, hey, what day is it? I don't even know what day it is. And I got to figure, I'm just trying to get in a new routine and a new groove for that. From the official term, we'd call that's an adjustment disorder.
Interesting.
Right? So it sounds terrible.
Yeah.
So we all have one then.
But we all have one, and it's pretty good. And then it's depression. Those are a little more bigger kind of labels or different things. And then there's really serious ones, right? It's like schizophrenia or some of these bigger things, but always think of it like physical health. It's like, do you have a sprained ankle? Do you have a broken leg? Do you have a cancer, right? It's all these little different pieces. So when you say it's
helpful.
like, I have a disorder and this is what it is and it's labeled, it's like, I'm happy to say I have an adjustment disorder. I have lots of them all the time because it's normal life stuff, right? So we just need to remember that. And remember the names sometimes are scary, right? Have you guys ever had conjunctivitis? Do you know what that is?
Yes.
What is it? Is it pink eye or
yes,
is it
it's pink eye. It sounds terrible, right? But it's conjunctivitis. Have you guys ever had a hematoma? You know what that is?
Blood clot? No, it's not a blood clot. What is it?
A bruise.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So if we walk around like, oh, you have conjunctivitis or you have a hematoma, it sounds terrible, right? But then it's like, oh, I've had pink eye and I have a bruise. It's kind of the same thing. Oh, what do you have? Oh, I have an adjustment disorder. It sounds terrible. What's that mean? Oh, I'm just trying to get back in the groove because I have a new thing. I got a new job. I moved. I got different stuff. And so it's like, it might sound, or even depression. Whoa, that sounds really terrible. Okay, what's that mean? Sad, having a hard time, trying to get some motivation. Okay, so the names sometimes sound really bad, but they're not as bad. So that's when we have to be careful with those labels.
Yeah, that's helpful, Tony. I feel like not that it normalizes it, but it makes it less scary to say or to talk about, or even to realize that, oh yeah, maybe for this season, maybe I am a little bit, depressed or whatever that is for people, Certainly life events can trigger that.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Tony, if you're married to someone with a mental health disorder, let's apply this to marriage. How can you best care for them and love them and get the most for your marriage relationship?
Yeah, and I think it helps to start with the physical thing. So how can you best care for your partner if they have a medical health? Like, let's say they have diabetes. Oh, well, we want to help them take their medicine, exercise, work, do the things that they need to do.
Diet,
all that stuff. Someone's like, hey, how do we help someone with my spouse that has depression? Oh, we're actually going to do a lot of the same stuff. It's like, hey, are you taking your medicine? What are you doing to address it, right? If you have diabetes, like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just eating candy bars. Okay, probably not a good move.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm trying to eat healthier. Okay, well, I have depression. What are you doing to address it? So you talk to yourself, hey, what are we doing? What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to go to journal. And so you just ask those kind of questions. So we're not saying like, why do you have diabetes, right? What's your problem? Why do you have diabetes? Sometimes I can feel that way with depression. What's your problem? Why are you so sad? But it's just being supportive and kind and just like, hey, what are you doing to kind of treat that?
Sure.
And how can I help?
Sure.
And if you make it safer to talk about, you will see your partner able to open up and to say, man, I'm struggling or I need help. Can you ask me to sit down and journal? Can you remind me to do some of these things because I'm struggling? As opposed to that kind of like, why do you have this and what's going on? We don't ask somebody why they have a sprained ankle or what's it's like, no, we know why. It's like, well, let's just treat it and kind of keep moving forward. And so it's just being supportive and then asking them, what is the plan? Because especially with a lot of these mental health disorders, you will see as that motivation and that energy to kind of take care of yourself and kind of get yourself, that's hard. So if you are married and you have a spouse who's having a partner, whether that's accountability, is like, hey, what are you doing to take care of yourself? But also just like checking in is like, hey, what's your plan? Are you just going to kind of sit here or what are we going to do? And you just work together with them.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Tony. That actually you addressed kind of or started to my two questions that came up. One, how do you ask them without seeming like you're micromanaging or nagging them? Because knowing that, yeah, maybe their energy is lower, they're feeling sad and can't bring themselves to, do the things that they know they need to do. And two, what do you do if they are in that spot where maybe the one spouse is asking the other, like, hey, did you, a walk outside would be great for sunshine, and they're just moping around. What do they do in that situation? I feel like we've heard stories of those things.
Yeah, it's sometimes that the spouse that's suffering from depression really is unmotivated and is just struggling and not doing a lot. It's like, hey, I'm trying to get them outside, or they won't go to therapy and they won't do those things. Is you just have to have those tough conversations, but the more that you think of it like physical health, right? So when someone says, hey, I'm not going to physical therapy and I can't seem to walk up and down the stairs. Okay, you're not going to get better until you kind of address it. And so it's just ways that you can talk to us. You're not going to get better until you do some of these things. And then there's a piece of, I'll go with you, right? I'll drive you to physical therapy. I'll drive you to outpatient mental health therapy. Is I will take you with that. But you're just really trying to convey that we don't tend to get better just by doing nothing. We have to kind of engage and do something.
Yeah. And I would hope that they could come to that conversation with just really a same team mentality. Like, hey, we're on the same team. I love you. I want the most for our marriage. And right, like some kind of conversation where they can get on the same page and see that I'm not trying to nag you, but I want to help you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Tony, do you want to talk a little bit? What if someone is listening and they're thinking, gosh, I wonder if I need to go in, or I wonder if my spouse needs to go in. What are some things to look for? We're not going to diagnose anything, but what are some things that maybe somebody would want to start maybe going in for?
Yeah, one is tune in to next week, because we're going to talk a little more about some really specific things on what each of these, like what depression looks like and what anxiety looks like. But if you start having these things where you just don't feel like yourself and you don't feel okay, it's kind of the same thing. Where do you start? Go to the doctor. I would always tell people, come to a counselor. What's the worst thing that happens when you go to a counselor and you think you might have something, and the counselor goes, you sound pretty normal. You're okay. Let's just kind of address this and move on. Oh, I thought there was something really wrong with me, right? And that's those adjustment disorders. Like, I think something. Nah, it's actually some normal stuff. Here's some things we can talk about and help. So it's just go get some help. Go ask questions. Go do that. Because with this stigma, that's why we're kind of doing this show, is we don't want people to hide and not talk about it and not bring it up. Because there's lots of times where you're going to be feeling down. You're going to be feeling a little upset. And you're like, I don't know what to do. Go ask and check around. It's not a bad deal. There's nothing wrong. And so if you're feeling like you're kind of not yourself, if you're feeling like you're struggling, from a marriage perspective, if your spouse says, hey, what's going on? You seem like you're just kind of down and you're not smiling as much and your brain is always kind of spinning and worrying. It's like, if you're hearing people say a little bit of those things, go check it out.
Yeah, I know, Tony, like that first, like going there was like the hardest step for me.
It's so scary.
And I don't know why. I think it was like the stigma that I had attached. Like I would show up to this place and they're like, it would just be like the weirdest place ever. And that was a big step of just going.
Yeah.
And then I was actually like, oh, this is fine. Like there's nothing like there was nothing. And it literally was like that adjustment, I mean, I've shared that on the show before that like, the pandemic was sort of a weird thing and coming out of the pandemic was really weird for me. And like that first appointment, like I dreaded, I'm just being honest, like I dreaded it. I was so scared. I went, it was fine.
Yeah.
And it was for like a period of time. It wasn't like a forever thing that I needed to go. If you do, that's fine. That's, but it was, that first thing was the hardest, but it was so worth it.
Yeah. And all those feelings that you just described are normal. Then one way to just kind of remember is like, you probably wouldn't have had all those feelings if you were going to the doctor's office.
No.
Right? It's like, I'm sitting in the doctor's office. What is everybody going to think about me in the waiting room? What are they going to think? What's going to happen? What do they think? they actually don't think anything, right? And like, oh, I think this guy's here to see the doctor. Yes.
Right.
It's the same thing when you go to therapy. It feels really scary. It feels kind of tricky. But hopefully you can kind of learn is, hey, there are some people there in the therapist's office that are hurting and need help. There's some people there that are just wanting to grow and get better and getting checked up. It's a wide variety of things. And so there's not this spotlight shining on you.
So if you see someone there, keep in mind that they also are there, right? So like all the people at the therapist's office are seeing therapists. So
correct, right? And that's always the kind of the joke is like, what if I see somebody I know? Well, they're probably not going to say anything and you're not going to say anything. So it doesn't really matter. So you're all fine.
Might mean that they also are seeing a therapist. Yes. Yeah. That's so good. Tony, do you have any final closing thoughts? I know we're going to dig in deeper next week, but did we miss any areas here?
I think just when you hear the word mental health or how is your mental health, slow down and really just answer the question, right? How's your mental health? Good, fine, I'm okay. Nobody's trying to figure you out or do that. Just remember that definition. It encompasses a whole bunch of areas of your life, and people are just asking, how are you doing? It's not any different. Hey, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm a little tired. Oh, man, my stomach kind of hurts, or I'm doing good. We don't get worried about that. I really want you guys just to be comfortable with when someone's, hey, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm having a pretty good day. It's pretty fun. It's dragging. I'm kind of feeling up and down, because your mental health goes up and down, just like your physical health goes up and down. So the more comfortable you can get with talking about it, and the more comfortable you can get in talking to your spouse about it, talking to your kids about it, the healthier that becomes. Else we're just ignoring a big chunk of us and we're never talking about it.
Yeah, I think, Ryan, for us, that's been a huge part of our marriage, is being able to articulate that. And I think that we've gotten really good. You've gotten really good at, if I'm a little short or something, you'll say, hey, what's really going on? Or, hey, let's talk about it. Usually now we're able to know, but to dig into that and, yeah, I am feeling this way because of X, Y, Z things that all stacked up and happened. And, for you to be able to support me in that. I mean, it has been a season of huge transition, going from part-time to full-time. Sure. And there were just a few things with the transition where it was, I had to process through it. And you were really great once you knew what I was feeling, to be able to walk with me through it. Right.
And Michelle, you said it. I think so much of it is just, it's a conversation. And I think talking through that, and, that was one of the things, a counselor, I thought it was so funny. I feel like he never said a word to me. So I was like, well, what do you think? And then I literally would have to sit and think about it to be able to answer it.
Right.
And I think that's something that's really good. I think even with your spouse, especially men, maybe it's just me, but sometimes I have a harder time articulating, and to give space for that, to give space to hey, there's a big change going on. This is really a lot's going on, and giving space for that conversation. And that's something, Michelle, I think you've been very, very great at as well, because there's been changes for both of us, and to sit and have those conversations, I think is really, really valuable.
Yeah, it's just
Thanks, Ryan.
Going slow and just reflecting and talking together, whether that's your physical health, your mental health, anything.
Well, hey, Tony, I don't want to forget this either. You have something special coming up that you wanted to invite our listeners to.
Yes,
do you want to share about that?
I'm trying something new and something different. February 11 from 6:30 to 8:30 at Parker's Bistro.
Oh my gosh, love that place.
Yes,
yeah.
It's the food's going to be
Delicious
good. I don't know how the speaker will be, but the food will be good, right?
Fancy, Tony.
If you are interested, call my office at 605-271-0261. And what it is it is a fight night. And what we're going to be doing is taking couples through the process of how to have a healthy fight, how to fight from beginning to end, and to actually resolve it so the fights don't keep reoccurring and happening. And so if you want to learn how to fight healthy, give me a call and we'll try it.
Fight night.
Yeah, we have
fanciest
it's all kind of like
restaurants.
boxing with themes and some other kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun.
Cool.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds so fun. So they call your office.
Call my office and we'll get you on the list where it's limited because I want to keep it small so that we can really talk and get some stuff done. But it's going to be fun. February 11.
All right, amazing. Sounds so great. Well, thank you. And thank you to our listeners for joining us today. We have resources at Celebrate.church/marriage. And if you don't have a church home, we would love to have you join us at Celebrate.church. Have a great week.
Have a great week.